Welcome to Season 3 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Brett. If you're new to the podcast, we are three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, you know what to expect. The three connoisseurs haven't changed, and the producers are always a wild card. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our previous content. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Brett.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tyler. And along with us today is producer Dwyane.
Dwyane
Gretzky.
Oh. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Just Dwyane.
Just
Okay,
Dwayne.
okay,
Yeah.
Just Dwyane.
No last name for Dwayne. So in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Block 3 Brewing Company out of St. Jacobs, Ontario.
Yeah, we're going to be having two beers, much like we always do. The first is the King Street Saison, and the second is, well, normally we would say King Street Saison and tell you what kind of beer it is, but I think
It's pretty obvious,
it goes
right?
for that, right?
It's Saison from King Street.
Oh, there we
St.
go.
Jacobs, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly. And the second is Danger Zone, which is an Imperial Farmhouse IPA.
Yes, and to end the episode, we're going to discuss our favorite athletes, both past and present. So, Block 3 is located at 1430 Unit 2, King Street North. That's where the King Street Saison comes from.
Now I get it.
Okay.
In the village of St. Jacobs, and that's actually like labeled as the village of St. Jacobs.
As it should.
Yep. The Block 3 name comes from the name of the land bought in the year 1798 by settler William Wallace. The
Or
brewery,
as I call them, WW.
W squared, yes. The brewery officially opened its doors on Labor Day in 2013. We're out of product 48 hours later.
Wow.
Well,
Must be good.
That would have upset WW.
Yes, for sure. And fun fact, they actually originally wanted to name it Jakobstedel, which is the original name for St. Jacobs, but it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue like Block 3 does.
I actually think you rolled that off the tongue.
Yeah, you did pretty well.
We're just a surprise to all of us.
I don't know. It sounds like a pretty good name to me.
I think so.
Block 3 is good, too, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So Block 3 actually started from an idea of sampling a few beers at a monthly beer club session. So that's pretty cool. And then during conversations at the session, the owners, are these the owners?
Yes.
Yes. Graham.
Blue started up the brewery.
Yes.
Okay.
Owners, founders. Graham Spence, Derek Lebert, Phil Hipkiss, and Brian Maher had talked about food and proper glassware. You'll have to see that. Styles of beer. And then, of course, they had an idea about opening a brewery themselves.
It looks like they could have went both ways, brewery or podcast at that point.
That's true.
This technically is a beer club session.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So eventually,
It's the same thing. It's
I
just-
feel as though a couple years down the road, we're just going to probably open
Did we make a mistake and we went podcast over brewery?
Well, I think the thing
The
is,
answer is no. You both should have been quick on that. No.
I think
we're
our
trying a lot of beers.
Our skills lend itself more to doing a podcast than opening a brewery, since
If I paid
none
more
of us
attention
brew.
in chemistry in high school, maybe we would open a brewery by now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, anyways, before you know it, the club session turned into time to write business plans, create recipes, and of course, find a spot to open a brewery. Now, unfortunately, on a volunteer trip near Killarney, Brian was killed in a car accident in 2017. But of course, the other founding members of the brewery have his memory live on through the brewery today.
Wow. All right. So Block 3's head brewer, Kevin Freer, focuses on artisanal small batch beers that showcase the craftsmanship of the beer themselves that are both interesting and unique. And so hopefully we've kind of find that in the beers that we have today and the beers that we've had previously. We can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, a farmhouse IPA, right? You don't see that very often. So that's pretty
Imperial
unique. Yeah.
Imperial Farmhouse IPA.
Yeah.
Block 3 now is going to be celebrating their 10th anniversary later on this year. And through the last 9 years, it has gone from a small 2-tap system, which is, hand printing bottle labels and dates on each bottle, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, that's exactly what they write it on.
Yeah, to 2 10-barrel fermenters, 4 20-barrel fermenters, and a whole barrel aging program.
It has grown.
They've got
That's grown quite a bit.
They've got 12 taps, 2 patios, and a partridge in a pear tree. So this here is a must-stop for any person on a beer tour in the region of Waterloo, and not even in the region. I mean, you could be, going past the region of Waterloo, just stop in, specifically to Block 3 before you go to other.
It's one of those
breweries
things. You go to the St. Jacobs Farmers Market, and then you're like, after getting a bunch of puff pastries, you just stroll on to the village of St. Jacobs and roll down to Block 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so in terms of Block 3, it is a dog-friendly brewery, which I'm a big fan of. Because I'm
then you can get in.
Yeah. Hilarious. Anyway, so that's actually one of the few breweries that you actually have to walk down the steps in order to enter the tap room. When you enter the tap room, there's lots of wood, as you'd expect, and the tap list is surrounded on the wall by the Mug Club members' mugs, and then obviously the picnic table seats and stools of views of the barrels and the brew house itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, myself, Chris, and producer Dwyane have been there.
Yes.
Tyler has not.
No.
And actually, myself and Dwyane did a little tour there back in 2020. I think it was actually Family Day. Tyler was invited, but he didn't have enough WestJet points to get back from Asia in time to meet us.
Yeah.
So, terrible.
Yeah, it was actually Asia or you guys. You see where the cards laid.
Yeah. I don't think you made a mistake in that decision.
I still think he did.
Thank
but,
you.
it is what it is.
Yeah, and I was there just this past October. It was I was there for my anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
How nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes. I was there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did some research a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
didn't
my
you?
wife was like, "Hey, we've been to see Block 3 in a while." I was like, "Funny you should ask."
Well, that didn't sound like a question, but okay.
Yeah. So this is another thing that we should add is Block 3 is a destination spot for those who are celebrating anniversaries. They don't promote it nearly enough.
Yeah.
There's actually somebody just got engaged there a couple weeks ago too.
Oh yeah, cool.
Really?
It wasn't me though. It wasn't me, but it was on their Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so they do have very unique paddle boards. So they're curved, like they obviously no one can see me what I'm doing.
No, this is good. We can see you.
Yeah, you
He's
can see
making
me.
a curve gesture with his left arm.
But like vertically curved, so it's like a hump kind of thing.
Yes.
And they have magnetic numbers that you attach to it, so you know which beer you're drinking. Which I like when breweries number their beers, and then you don't get the scribbles of like IPA on it, and like you have trouble reading it.
Well, it's only 3 letters, so I feel as though IPA should be easy to read versus like an actual name of something. But
Well, I mean, have you seen some people's printing?
yes. Have you seen my printing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's that.
Well, I agree with you. Sometimes if it's done in chalk,
Yeah,
and some of the beer will splash
and then it
off,
might
and wipes
wipe off or
You're
something like that.
What was it?
I get
know.
what you mean. Oh, I get it.
Unfortunately, though, when I was there, I think they were out of all the curved paddle boards, and I just got a regular flat one. It was a little bit disappointing.
You should have told them it was your anniversary.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do? Go take it from someone else? Or?
Yeah, I think
I think
that's
so.
good customer service. These people have been married. Okay, they're married. He needs this.
They're going to
They're on their first date. They don't need this.
survey everyone who's not married. Give me your curved paddle board.
This guy needs this. Trust me.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so there's 309 beers created according to Untapped, which we use frequently, as you all know.
Yes.
Including the Fickle Mistress Sour Series. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, that's good.
And many Belgian-style beers. Now, the overall average for the brewery is a 3.67 out of 5 and around 90,000 check-ins.
Yes.
That's
That's
a lot.
of check-ins.
A lot of chickens.
Some from us.
Yeah, including me. So I'm actually not the highest rate. The producer has the most check-ins from Block 3.
Oh, Dwyane.
We'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah.
But my check-ins, I'm at 21. And my highest rated is The Loneliness, which was a raspberry chocolate Russian Imperial Stout. Ooh. So think a higher version of like Viva La Stout from Sawdust City. I rated it at 4.5.
Nice. I have had 7. I rated 2 the highest at 4. First one was Fickle Mistress Pina Colada. Which of course is part of their sour. That was my wife did say she thinks that's probably the best beer she's ever had. So interesting there.
She's had 2 beers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, she's had a lot less than me, that's for sure.
Yes.
And the other one that I gave a 4 was and this one has coffee. That's what it's called, and it's a porter.
Thanks. I have had the least with 2, and my highest rated, was noon on a weekday at 3.25, which was the pale ale. So I don't have a whole breadth of knowledge on their beers, so I'm looking forward to today's.
Yeah, you're going to get some more today.
But,
and Producer Dwyane, top of the list at 23.
Ooh.
And his highest rated was the Fickle Mistress Strawberry Pineapple out of 4. And Tyler, I was actually surprised that you only had 2 beers. I thought you had more and more.
No.
You're going to have 2 more today.
You obviously didn't bring back any for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
None of you.
That's true. I didn't do it either.
All three of you.
We all struggled. Anyway.
Which I know I did. It's because the Asia trip. I get it.
Yeah.
So Block 3 has been voted the Waterloo Region Records Reader's Choice for Best Brewery in the Waterloo Region.
Jeez, you could have slowed down going through that.
I could have, but I didn't. And they do have live music every Friday night from 6 to 9, along with a selection of board games to play. So if anybody wants to play Monopoly at Block 3, we should probably go there at like 11, and we'll probably still be playing at the end of the day.
They also have this game there. I don't know if you saw people playing this when you guys were there, but it was like this, like, I don't know, a washer on a string, and you
Swing
like
it to one side?
No,
Okay.
you throw it and there's a hook on the wall, and you try to get it on the hook, and people were struggling mightily to do that. It was quite entertaining just to watch them do it.
Yeah, it's seen some videos of it on TikTok. It's actually
So
can be
it's
entertaining.
not like a tabletop game?
No, you stand up and
there's
like
there's a
throw it.
tabletop version of that.
Oh yeah.
So you'd go head to head, and so it'd be a board in the middle, and then a hook
okay.
on that board, and then each person on either side, kind of like Battleship.
Right. I get
And
you.
then once you have your Battleship kind of set up, is you swing that washer on either side to see who can hook it first. Yeah.
And then Battleship gets sank. Okay. So if you are in the mood for pizza, they offer direct service from Those Pizza Guys, which is just down the street from Block 3, that allows you to get pizza directly to your table. You just got to put it into your server. They'll call Those Pizza Guys, and Those Pizza Guys will bring it down the street and deliver it to you. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Now, if pizza isn't your style, the Village Beer Garden, which does have some Block 3 ownership involved, is also located just down the street and has all Block 3 beers, plus some German and Belgian-inspired foods. And I think, Chris, you also went there.
I did. That was where I had lunch on my anniversary.
There you go. Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah. And I think they only have a patio, so I don't believe they're open in the winter. But it was early October, and we were eating on the patio in 20-degree weather.
They actually do have patio. They have...
No, I know.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the wintertime they do, because they were the first places to have those big
I
igloo
see.
pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were one of those.
Yeah,
ones.
because I don't think they have any indoor
Yeah,
seating.
I don't think so.
Brett followed your lead earlier on with a hand gesture. So those,
Oh, okay.
those
I
who
was
are
doing some
listening at home,
curvature.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing there for a bit until he said pods, because the hand gesture was very precarious.
Oh, goodness.
Now, if you want some of their beers, they do free delivery on orders over $50 to Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, and Woolwich Township. $10 flat rate province-wide on anything over $100.
Yes. And the hours at the brewery: Monday 11 to 5, Tuesday and Wednesday 11 to 6, Thursday 11 to 8, Friday 11 to 10, Saturday 11 to 9, and Sunday reverting back to 11 to 6.
Wow. Interesting. All right.
You just need to figure out your time to go there next, right?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
every day is a different time. All right, so if you want to grab some of their beers or find out more about them, of course, as always, we're going to link to their information.
And speaking of beers, let's have the first one. Chris, and we're back.
We are back.
I did it. Anyway, thank you to Graham from Block 3 for sending us the beers that we're having on today's episode. Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Yes, I know.
Can we say our
I
thank
was,
yous?
I was a little premature. My bad.
Hey, Graham, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. And everyone at Block 3.
But mainly Graham.
So, the first beer we're having today is the King Street Saison, which is listed, of course, as a Saison, but some might also refer to it as a Belgian-style blonde or Belgian-style farmhouse ale. It is 4.6% ABV and 16 IBUs.
Yes, now this beer is described as light and refreshing, carrying notes of citrus, flowers, and bubblegum. Provides a spicy and hay-like malt flavor, balanced bitterness with a dry finish. So we'll look for that. We're talking about this a couple episodes.
Yes.
Maybe not actually on the episode. Maybe we were talking about it offline.
We talked about it.
About the dry finishes and actually mentioning that, so
Yeah.
that we can help our listeners out. The King Street Saison won gold at the inaugural Canada Beer Cup in 2022 in the Belgian-style blonde ale category.
Nice. So
Oh,
should
yeah,
be
well,
good.
yeah, we'll give a...
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, let's
absolutely.
give one of them.
Yes, right?
So as always, you can follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. This King Street Saison is rated on Untapped 3.55 out of 5 with over 5,600 check-ins, and there are 104 5 out of 5s.
Very good. That's a lot of 5 out of 5s.
Yeah.
It's a good number, yeah.
All right, let's let's gladly grab our glass.
There you
And grab our cans. And let's open her up.
Oh, I love that sound.
You and Brett just gonna swap, eh?
Yeah, we'll
He says
just
what you say, you say what he
we'll
says.
just pretend to be each other.
Aw.
I know, so cute, right? So we are drinking the Saison out of a tulip glass, so of course, make sure to use your proper glassware.
And when you go to drink it, your tulips. So let's take a look at this here. We've got a nice yellow, very hay color, which would fall in line with that farmhouse kind of style, right?
Yeah, nice and clear. You can see right through it, basically.
And the cool thing about the tulip glass is if you look up, you see all the carbonation at the top and not the bottom.
Wow.
Yes, that would be the head that you're looking at.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
The result of the
angle.
carbonation equals head at the top.
Speaking of head, it's a pretty nice head. Nice white head, but it is dissipating relatively quickly, I'd say.
So, yeah.
And you'll see in our Instagram picture when you do post it that there was a good amount of head on the pour on this one, which is nice because then you can see, what we were kind of looking at before it dissipated.
Yes.
Now on the nose, strong smells. These types of beers, these very Belgian style beers.
Yeah, Belgian style, farmhouse styles always have that strong scent.
There's always something on the nose. So what are you guys picking up?
I mean, nothing, I don't know how to describe it specifically, but it definitely has the smell of a Saison. I think it's part of that, the yeast that's coming through, really, that they use in it.
Yeah, you're not really getting any, the fruit or anything. It's more so just the yeast and almost like that hay, if you will. Almost smells like
Yeah,
fresh
kind
cut hay.
of like earthy a little bit, right?
A little earthy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of picking up the bubblegum aspect of it, which I think that might come through, obviously, in the taste as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like an earthy bubblegum, if you will. Like something you'd see Willy Wonka put out just to try.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of trying, should we?
We shall.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to get into it a little bit first?
That was actually a good transition there once. I actually did it.
Yeah, you did that for once. Why don't you guys have a sippy poo poo?
You're just picking up notes of everybody today.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing everybody. I could just do this by myself.
I'd like to see that happen.
Keep that attitude up. You might just be out on your own.
All right. Well, you guys have tasted it, so talk about that, and I'll take a sip.
Your prototypical Saison, I think. It definitely light. I'm getting a little bit of that bubble gum, but mostly getting that earthiness from that yeast.
Yeah, I'm picking up a lot of the dryness, which makes me want to go back for a little bit more to kind of
Yep.
keep the palate a little bit wet. Light in essence of mouthfeel, but not in flavor.
Yeah.
There's lots of flavor.
Obviously going to be a lot of flavor that's pumped through this. I'd say you're kind of like prototypical Belgian style beer on this.
Pretty traditional. I would say I'm getting quite a bit of the bubble gum, and it kind of lingers in my mouth after the beer goes down.
And of course, this being their staple, this has obviously been through many rounds, right? So
Yeah.
in terms of they've perfected this recipe to the point where, as you said, you have a swallow and then, yes, it's got that dry finish, but it makes you want to have another swallow right away.
Right. Yeah, I would also maybe look at this as being a little bit clean.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Oh my goodness, of course.
Yeah.
You could do this on your own. You're right, Chris. What are we here for? But yeah, no, I see this as a very clean style. But maybe for the sake of just, we've had some pretty good input here, go through the top 5 flavor profiles. Chris, why don't you do these ones? I think Brett and I have done a fair amount recently.
Yeah, I mean, I could do this by myself, right? So I'll just do
No, go ahead. Brett and I will just keep drinking.
Yeah. We won't talk.
Oh, you won't talk at all? Okay, I'll just provide my input. Number 1 is light. It is light. We did kind of talk about that. Not light in flavor, but light in kind of body. Yeah. You guys are just staring right at me. Number 2 is smooth. It is smooth. It goes down nice and smooth. I don't know if it's number 2 for me. Number 3 is fruity, which I'll be honest, I'm not getting a ton of fruit on this. Number 4 is bubblegum, which I would put much higher, probably number 1 or 2. And number 5 is sweet. It does have a tinge of sweetness, so I might put it in there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so everybody playing at home, if you would rather option 1, Chris say the top 5 flavor profiles by himself, moving forward, please text the following number.
Standard text messaging rates do apply.
No, you did a good job with it.
Oh, thank you.
But I do think that everybody cares what we think as well.
You know what? I'm nothing without you guys. So,
that's good. We said the same thing behind your backs. No, I think you did a pretty spot on job, and I think that's because it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
And I do agree if we add in a little bit of the floral, the earthy, which Dwayne's saying, obviously, and move clean in there. I know it's not really the flavor profile, but the dryness on this one really actually is hitting because I just keep finding myself taking a sip.
And that's kind of, I would put dry in terms of the top 5.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I would maybe took out sweet in my end a little bit. I don't think sweet makes the top 5 for me, but...
Yeah, because it definitely makes you want to have another sip and another sip and another sip.
Which is also a very good beer.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good beer.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So, speaking of other people's thoughts on this, using Untapped, Tyler, you have the first one.
Yes, so the first one is Scott R. The handle is Scrappa. That's with a PH. And on November 30th, stated the following. Aroma is very much like a Saison. Sweet tart with citrus and hay. Flavor's a little sweet and a little tart. A bit of bitterness. Really nice Saison. Would definitely have again. And Scott was one of the 104, I believe it was, 5 out of 5s.
Wow.
So I'm assuming he's going to have this one again. 5 out of 5.
Definitely.
He definitely would.
As stated by Sky.
So the next one comes from Matt B. Subliminal 64 is Matt's handle. On November 8th said, it pours filtered medium gold with a thin head and no lacing. Smells slightly floral. Taste is malty and sweet with more than decent hop follow through and finish. Really enjoyable, but not crushable. Oh, interesting. He gave it a 4.25 out of 5.
Yeah, that is interesting. And maybe the crushable part is because it is a Saison. I think it's a very, I don't know, it's one of those flavor profiles that maybe you would just get a bit tired of it.
Yeah, I think it might not be crushable. I probably agree with that, but it is one of those beers where we mentioned we're kind of wanting to go back for another sip. Yeah. So you kind of might be done before you realize it.
Maybe we would say it's paceable.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I don't think people are going out and having, 6 King Street Saisons back to back, right?
And I feel like this style lends itself to like what you're kind of getting at, right? Is that you want to just enjoy it.
It's a sipper, I think.
Yeah. Crushable, you kind of enjoy it in a quick spurt instead of over time. I'm going to start our ratings off, and I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Okay. All right, I'm going to be a little bit lower. I'm going to give it a 3.5. There's really nothing wrong with this beer. Like, I think they nailed the style bang on. It's just not really... like one of my favorite styles.
Yeah, I agree.
So myself and producer Dwyane have both had this beer before, actually at the same time. We had it together that one time.
That's so
cute.
It was
cool, right? At the time, I gave it a 3.75, and producer Dwyane gave it a 3.5, and I believe we're both going to stick with our original ratings of myself at a 3.75 and Dwyane at a 3.5.
Nice. So that should give us a 3.625 overall.
Amazing how you did that math. Didn't even need Dwyane for that.
Math was simple on that one.
Amazing. More episodes, you keep having ratings, and then boom.
Well, I mean, at 3.5 and 3.75, so I just had to do the division.
It's just halfway in between, yeah.
It's very simple. So we're going to round that up to the 3.75 because we do whatever the hell we want on this podcast.
But also we do what you're supposed to do with math. So we're also going to have another beer right now.
All right.
Right on.
The second beer is called Danger Zone.
Welcome to the Danger Zone.
There it is. I was waiting for somebody to do it. As previously mentioned, this is an Imperial Farmhouse IPA. Whew. Now, we all know what the Imperial means, right?
Double.
We're going to be getting more alcohol. So this one here is 9% ABV and 70 IBUs.
And that's why they call it the Danger Zone. So this beer is a former Canadian Brewing Award gold medal winner in 2016 in the Belgian-style strong specialty ale category.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Yeah, that's a very specialized category.
Yeah. There's one entry.
Here's a specialty.
That entry was Danger Zone.
It then returned to action after a 2-year hiatus and is produced with their house blend of farmhouse yeast and mounds of hops.
Just mounds of them.
Yeah, that lead to a huge tropical fruit aroma and flavor that make this beer easy drinking, yet dangerous.
Oh.
Yet
dangerous. On Untappd, Danger Zone has 741 check-ins with an average rating of 3.76 out of 5. There are 9 5 out of 5s. And the top 3 serving styles are bottle, draft, and taster. So not a lot of check-ins for the can, even though we're having it in a can. So I'm assuming, looking back on previous Untappd pictures, that prior when they were kind of smaller and still doing the bottles, that's where most of this came out of, was Danger Zone. And this is maybe the first run of it in the canning line.
Yes, I believe so.
So that's fun. And just to speak on the can before we get on here, it does look like 2 women... what do they call those? Not shadows, but like silhouettes. Thank you.
2 silhouettes
of dancing, and there is another person from in the third square looking at the silhouettes dancing. Perhaps just
you know what.
Yeah, so you could kind of insinuate
where we're going.
What their career is.
Yeah, I mean, let's
sure.
Let's
They're
think
accountants.
of Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. We keep with that kind of look, and I mean, Brett said squares, but we all know the rectangles.
It's kind of like the beginning of Superbad when they're dancing in silhouettes.
Ah, yes,
It's got that
that's a good one.
All right,
Tyler,
so
interesting.
I was wondering what producer Dwyane was getting here. We had the following clues: Bottle Mar 2020, and I was like, "What do we mean, Bottle Mar 2020?"
I believe he had this in a bottle in March of 2020.
With the same label.
With the same label.
I know.
Does it mean? Did you pick it up when we had our tour at Block 3, or did you just have it from previous time and then decided to drink it that day? Probably because the world was entering the danger zone at that time.
Yes,
so
it was very appropriate.
That's what it was. March 2020.
Yeah, makes sense.
We were in the
out.
danger zone.
What was that? The 14th of March. All right. So let's grab our kids. Let's grab our glasses and let's open her up. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful sound.
Synchronized there. So this is, of course, an IPA. So we are drinking it out of an IPA glass. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys got on the pour?
Well, it's not exactly like that hazy IPA that you would see. It's more so got that brown golden color.
Yes.
Oh, Chris, you doing all right?
Yeah, a little fast.
No, I'm doing good. I just got a lot ahead, so I'm waiting for it to.
I was gonna say
calm
because
down.
if that hits the floor, that's a danger zone right here.
That's true. Yeah, a little bit more of that golden honey look, I would say. This is going to have some beautiful lacing. You can already tell with some of the head going down. I'm looking forward to this. It looks pretty clear. I don't really see any adjuncts in there at all.
Yeah, no, I don't see them at all. And this is actually probably one of the higher percentages beers. We haven't really had something in the 9% category for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, on the nose. Chris, don't put your nose all the way into that because it's like you'll be putting your nose to bed with that pillow of head.
It's a little frothy.
Wow. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
That was like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Green eggs and ham. Sam I am.
Yeah, watch your. You didn't even
I
catch
don't know.
it.
I don't know what to tell you. No, I was half listening to you.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
We all know you can do this by yourself. When you listen to it back, you'd be like, oh, that's actually pretty eloquent.
No, it's not that I was ignoring you. I was just smelling the beer and kind of thinking about it.
And then he would have said, I could have said that better myself.
Yeah. So what do you guys get on the nose? Keep this ball rolling here.
It's kind of interesting on the nose because I do get that citrus smell, aroma that they talked about. But I also get the, similar to the Saison that we just had, right? Where because it is, essentially an IPA Saison combination. So I kind of get that as well.
Yeah, getting that farmhouse yeast mixed within. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something that I'm kind of picking up, and you guys may disagree with me on this one, but because maybe it's that higher alcohol content, I'm getting kind of like a candied kind of smell to it. And I don't know if it's because of that, and maybe this fits more in like with a triple IPA. Again, with that kind of higher alcohol, I'm very curious if it comes across as just a very generic IPA or if it fits more into that candied kind of double triple area.
Yeah, no, I definitely getting a little bit of candy there.
And this is where I'm kind of going with this, is because they do a lot of these Belgian style beers, is we talk about having Belgian quads before.
Yes.
Right? And triples. And I'm wondering if that's kind of on the cusp.
Yeah. And they're definitely Belgian quads, Belgian triples that they create, because they create those beers at Block 3. Mm-hmm. You definitely get that candy, but also get that booziness. You can almost smell the booziness from the glass.
So
right?
I'm just thinking out loud that maybe this is one of those transitionals, right? In between the IPA, standard IPA, a double, or more like a triple or quad.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, there you go.
And you're a big fan of hybrids, so.
Love a good hybrid.
All right, so shall we start drinking this, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay,
we
good.
shall.
Good. Definitely boozy with bitterness. This is probably a good word to describe this one. Good words, I should say, because I use 3 words.
Yes, it is definitely boozy. That really comes through, but also the bitterness comes through quite a bit. And like, I think the farmhouse piece of it that's coming through is like that earthiness and like straw.
Yep.
That's coming through quite a bit.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah, it's kind of developing a little bit. I got a little bit more of citrus at the beginning, but like not overpowering citrus, like it was there. And then like that subdued pretty quickly to like this different, more earthy tone finish.
Mm-hmm. It's a tale of 2 beers almost, I would say.
Yeah,
like there's a different story in the beginning and a different story at the end.
Yeah, like that's how I see it at least. And
yeah, I'm not getting as much citrus my first few sips. I wish I was getting more because I'll be honest, it's a little bit overpowering on the bitterness, and I feel like that citrus would mellow it out.
And that's the mounds of hops that are coming through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like that citrus, it's not there long. Like it's there and it's out. Like right off the beginning.
Quick in and out, if you will.
Like right off the beginning. It's subtle, like, but it's so quick that I do wish that kind of went a little bit longer. Before
totally.
that bitterness kind of took over and more of that earthy kind of aftertaste just is hanging around.
And are you getting the alcohol content at the back end as well?
I will once I'm done it. At the very back end, when this baby backs up on me, then we'll be entered into that danger zone. No, it does a pretty good job. But again, I feel like there is that alcohol that's there, and it is getting itself kind of like, hey, look at me, and then maybe try it with a triple. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is setting the stage. I keep looking over at those silhouettes.
And you're moving yourself up to the front row, or what?
Well, I'm just saying it's setting the stage, and it's climbing the pole. So it's definitely getting there.
Oh goodness! So you're saying that this is a beer that like is almost like the tipping point. Like once you finish, you're like, you know what? I'm in that danger zone now. I'm gonna either go up and have a Belgian quad from them, or maybe I go back to like the Helles Lager or the Jaromir Lager, or maybe another King Street Saison.
For sure, yeah. If the tip counts, then definitely that's where this is at.
Okay, all right. So our top 5 flavor profiles. I'll take this one.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to do them all by yourself, or no? Well,
do you want me to? Or
no.
Actually, you know what?
You can't do it by yourself.
I think Producer Dwyane should do it all by himself.
No.
He is saying that there's a tight bubble formation in the head.
Yes.
Right?
That is true.
FYI.
And I am getting lacing as we go.
Yes.
But go ahead. Let's get to the 5 flavors.
Number 1, hoppy.
Yes. I mean,
more bitter.
I would replace this with bitter. Spoiler alert: bitter is not in the top 5. But
come on, it's fine. I'm supposed to do the top 5, but it's okay. Yes, it's not in there. Number 2, smooth.
There's a smoothness to it, but again, I wouldn't probably put this in the top 5. But
No, I would not.
there is some smoothness to it.
Okay. Number 3, strong.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't think I'm having another one of these.
It is definitely.
This is a good a finisher, if you will.
Very bold.
Number 4, boozy.
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
I think we can all agree on that one. And number 5, this is a weird one that I don't understand, but it's in here anyway. Sour.
Yeah, definitely not sour.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, you know, you mentioned they had a 2-year hiatus. I wonder when they first brewed it, whether it was more sour, and then since then they've kind of not made it sour.
I can tell you one thing. This is not going to be in like my top 86 flavor profiles. Saying that right now.
I'm wondering if there's some confusion with sour with the boozy and
Maybe?
kind of like a candy-ish aspect of it. And that's what people are getting confused.
Producer Dwyane saying earthy, citrus, mouthfeel. What do you think about the mouthfeel? Like a nice soft mouthfeel on this one?
Yeah,
I think
it does.
so.
But yeah, the biggest one I think I would change would be bitter. I would definitely throw that in probably as number
I agree.
one.
Bitter, yeah, I'd throw citrus in there in the top 5 for sure. I'd even do candied. That's how I feel like I'm getting, but doesn't mean you guys have to either.
Yep.
Thoughts from untapped users. Brett,
Yes.
take the first one.
I got the first one. So this one's from Dave H, and his handle is Diff. On December 21st, said, this is as dangerous as big Belgian IPAs come. Complex, but smooth, and a beautifully dry finish. Really solid. And he gave this one a 4.25 out of 5, and also gained the Birthday Brew Level 6 on Untappd for checking this beer in. So happy belated birthday there, Dave, and hope you enjoyed this one, just like we are right now.
There you go. Now we know Dave's birthday.
And he did enjoy it. You don't have to say, I hope you enjoyed it. You give it a 4.25.
Yeah, that's true. You did enjoy it. Yeah. I ain't wrong.
All right. So the next one is from Sean. Slaycock9 is Sean's handle.
Yep.
Danger zone.
Yeah, he's in the danger zone. All right. Also on December 21st, big day for the danger zone beer. He said, Belgian brews aren't necessarily my jam, but this one packs a punch. Definitely would be better in a flight if you have a plan for the evening. LOL in capitals. And Sean gave it a 4 out of 5.
That's Slaycock.
Hey, I read the thing and I just copy it in.
Yeah, we can't control their usernames.
Right,
it is what it is.
Sean's that's his name.
So I'm going to start this one off.
Please do.
For our ratings. I've never had a Farmhouse IPA, so this is something new
What
for
about
me.
an Imperial Farmhouse IPA?
No.
Okay.
No. So I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought you were going to stop there and be like, yeah, I'm just going to give it 2.7. Like, we don't do that. That's not us. That's
Don't have premium.
That's different, but
I mean, we probably should figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, my rating, I am going to give this one a 3.5. I just think the bitterness on the back end is just a little too overpowering. If it was toned down, maybe you had that between 40 and 50 IBUs, maybe you might get a little bit higher for me.
yeah. So for myself, I'm going to give it a 3. And producer Dwyane is going to give it a 3, which was actually changed from a 3.5, which, again, serving style matters sometimes, was in a bottle.
Also possibly a different recipe, right?
Yep, could be. We did get this beer pretty fresh, so it was canned on, December the 14th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No,
pretty fresh.
it's a fresh beer for sure. So overall, that's giving us a 3.0625, which of course we will round down to a 3 even.
Okay. That concludes the review of Block 3 and the beers provided for today's episode.
Was that tough for you to do because we just gave it a 3? We'll give it a 3 from block 3.
Yeah, just the threes.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, up next, we're going to discuss our favorite athletes, past and present.
Okay, so I figured this would be fitting. With the name of one of Block 3 beers being named the Jaromir Lager, Czech Pilsner, by the way, after Jaromir
course,
Lager.
yeah.
Jaromir Jagr.
That's good.
Right? He was a fan favorite not only of the Penguins in the early 90s, but just hockey fans in general. Right? You know, with the big mullet and everything like that.
And he played for 25 years
He's
or
still
something
playing
like
in a Czech league
He's
right
still
now. For
playing
God's sake.
in Chelsea,
He's still scoring goals. I think he's on going to be on the Czech world team for when they do the World Championship.
He's almost 50 too.
I think he is 50.
He is 50?
Yeah.
It was
Jesus.
him and there was somebody else in a picture I just saw the other day. Let's see if we
Producer's
can,
on it. Producer is definitely on it.
You just keep clicking, wait till you see it.
He's like, I didn't want to see this.
Thomas
Anyway.
McClinic.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it was,
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about our favorite athletes, both past, so when we were kids, and present. So we're going to go with the core four. So
Does it have to be?
Do we have to be when we were kids?
Yeah, thank you.
it's a pass yesterday, present today. Like,
No. Can it just be
retired
like,
last year.
if they're retired?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess one of mine technically is still playing, so I get your point.
No actively playing. Yeah.
So we're going to go with the core four sports. So MLB, NHL, NBA, and NFL. And then the other categories. So it can be from any sport. So it could be golf, crokinole, darts, whatever you like. Okay? Curling.
Shuffleboard? Curling. Yeah, there you go.
I knew it.
That's
Anyway.
funny you say that.
So we're going to start with baseball because I think baseball is kind of the sport that we get the most and have played the most. Past, Carlos Delgado.
So you're gonna start?
Yes, I'm going to start because,
Okay.
it's my topic, so I'm going to start. I actually watched the video a couple weeks ago of him hitting 4 dingers in one game.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've hit 3, but not 4. Dang it. Present, Alec.
Somehow I knew you'd swing this. I'm surprised you're not your past and present.
Well, I played in the MLB, then sure.
You might be listed as your other, I suppose.
Anyway, present, Alec Manoah, just because you don't see a 6'6", 280-pound guy on a mound every day.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
And he's
just
just a
that,
freaking tank.
Yeah.
That is all. Producer.
So you like him because he's big?
Yeah, and I'm big, so it makes sense.
Doesn't have to be good, just has to be big.
So producer Dwyane, past Roy Halladay. Like we can all agree on that.
Quite literally passed.
Yeah. Oh God. Present day Shohei Ohtani. I think it's because producer Dwyane is also pitcher / hitter, so like it just makes sense, right? Just
right.
makes sense to me. Chris, yourself.
Yeah, so past, I'm going to go with Albert Pujols, who is just passed, and A-Rod. It's a tie with them. I really liked Alex Rodriguez.
That is so unfortunate. I hate you more now.
And present is, I'm going to go with Vlad Jr.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, great.
Tyler.
So past, this will probably be a shock for everybody. Jose Cruz. No, I'm just kidding.
Jose Cruz Jr. Yeah.
Joe Carter.
Yeah.
Had to be, yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I've met him. I was friends with his son for a bit. Whatever, not a big deal. But Jumpin' Joe. And present, I'm also going to go with Vladdy. I think just the way that he's played defense last year, solid defense,
Yep.
and the hitting tools are there. So
Absolutely.
and he's got great personality, but we'll see how that looks this year when nobody else exists. From his friend group.
Don't think we'll be seeing any home run jackets this year. Yeah. Anyway, NHL. Obviously not a Leafs fan, but I was a big fan of Cujo, Curtis Joseph, just because I thought at the time he had the coolest masks
Yeah,
in the
Oh,
NHL.
yeah. He did have good mask.
Right.
you should start wearing a mask
I should.
A goalie mask? Just,
to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to craft beer connoisseurs one.
That'd be
There you go, right?
sick.
that would be
Sweet.
pretty
That would be
sick,
pretty
yeah.
sick.
And present, this is definitely a hot take, but Brad Marchand, because A, I'm a Bruins fan, and B, he's a guy that if he was on like another team you would hate, but you love to have him on your team. Just me. So, and I'm also the most hated person on the podcast, so I figured I'd go with the most hated NHLer.
But we're really glad you're on our team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
we are.
You said that with the
a lot of
utmost-
conviction.
Utmost conviction, yes. Producer Dwyane, past Pavel Bure.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right?
Not bad.
Yes. Present, Alex Ovechkin. Big fan of goals being scored, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, producer Dwyane likes to score goals.
Who doesn't?
Right, Chris?
So my past for the NHL is Alex McGillney.
Okay,
all right.
solid choice.
I loved him when he came to the Leafs. That was awesome.
That was past his prime, right?
Well, yes, unfortunately it was. And then present, I'm going to go with Austin Matthews.
Can't wait till he becomes an Arizona Coyote next year. It's going to be awesome.
I don't think
that's
anybody
not
wants to go to Arizona.
People aren't even watching the games anyway.
There's not a huge draw.
No.
All right. So I feel like Chris and I are fairly similar, which is scary, but it is what it is. Past, I'm going to go with who I always mimicked as a kid when we played like mini sticks, Felix Potvin. I was a huge Felix Potvin fan. I don't know if I was ever going to play like goalie. That'd be who I'd want.
You collect like his McDonald's mask, like you remember?
Yeah, the McDonald's mask, the cards,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah. And then present, I think Austin Matthews is he's pretty dirty. I was gonna say Mitch Marner because I feel like he's a little bit smaller and he's still out there doing great
Right.
things. But his contract is a bit silly. But I mean, it is what it is.
NBA. All right. Pass, I feel as though this might be a lot of us. It's me and producer Dwyane. Vince Carter.
Yeah.
All right. He was the person.
I'll just go now. I'm also in the Vince
Yeah.
Carter train.
I'm not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Vince Carter.
He's definitely going to be like, Rafael Arujo or something like that.
Yeah,
But,
right.
It's actually a non-Raptor.
Oh, there you go.
Jose Calderon. He's still playing.
But Vince Carter literally set basketball on fire in Canada.
Yeah.
It's too bad that Tracy McGrady left in 2001, but they could have had a championship long before that.
And not just in Canada though. This is the thing is it's hard to play in Toronto for baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
And to garner like the respect of a league that's primarily outside of this country, and Vince Carter did that, right? Like he transcended just the countries.
Yeah, exactly, right. And it would have been cool for him to come. I know they were looking at bringing him back when the Raptors won in 2019. It would have been cool if that would have happened. But anyway, present-wise, Luka Doncic. Because you just have absolutely no idea
He's
what he
so
is going to
good.
do
He's
on
so
any given
good.
night. And his interviews are just sweet, You ever get him after a 50-point game? Just, ball, beer. We're good to go.
Ball? That was Hito Turkoglu.
I know. But you watch his slot one a couple weeks ago. It was like, just need the ball.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Give me the ball. I'll score. Fair enough. And producer Jaromir, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you see his dunk there?
Yeah,
I guess it was a
sick.
couple weeks ago now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he is crazy dunk.
he literally tore the Raptors up a couple weeks ago with like 18 assists. Didn't even score. Just like, I'll dish it out all night.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, Dwayne's telling us to hurry up a little bit. So my NBA past is Kobe Bryant, also RIP. And then my current is Nikola Jokic. He's so good.
Yeah. Speaking of addition from a center position, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I feel like me being last, I'm almost at a disadvantage, but I'm going with Luke as well.
Nice.
I recently saw him on Dude Perfect, and I don't know if you've seen him on there.
Yeah.
It was he did a great segment with them, and then he showed up in like their cowboy boots before one of the games. So like everything kind of came together because he seems so chill. Like he seems like an actually
Absolutely.
genuinely
Yeah.
nice guy too.
Yep.
And I like that.
NFL-wise, this guy technically still playing, but not really playing good.
Somebody's breaking the rules out here.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to go with Tom Brady because Patriots fan, and obviously, he did lead the Patriots to a few Super Bowls. Present day, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not a huge, Producer Dwyane, give me the old middle finger. But I mean, if you look at his picks, I mean, come on, let's be serious here. Number one pick. Anyway, Patrick Mahomes. He's definitely again same with Luka Doncic. You just don't know what you're going to get on every night, right? Patrick Mahomes could throw 500 yards on any night.
Yeah.
Serious. Producer. Number one pick, big Chicago Bears fan. I have no idea why. Brian Urlacher. I mean, he was pretty sick back in the day. I think he was on a cover of Madden something, like 05 or 06 or 07 or something like that.
It's a team for me.
He was all right. Yeah.
Present day, Khalil Mack. We'll move on. Chris?
Even though Mac doesn't play for the Bears anymore.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. All right. So my past is Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
Yeah, Dwayne loves that because they're in the same division.
Yeah.
And my present is Justin Herbert, even though his team is now out of the playoffs this year.
All right. So my NFL past, this is going to be a little bit of a cop-out. It's like a flavor profile. Bo Jackson. Solid two-sport athlete.
Just because he played baseball, too?
But that's the thing is like, and he excelled at both. It's not like he was just mediocre at both. Look at Michael Jordan, right? Like you could only play one sport. But
Yeah.
Deion Sanders.
Same with Deion Sanders.
Wasn't really good
yeah.
at baseball.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good. I mean, with the Braves, he was
He was a good pinch runner.
Very good, yeah.
But I mean, Bo Jackson could literally
Yeah,
play his position,
yeah.
hit the ball really hard,
Yep.
and played really well in the NFL. Present, I'm going to go with Tom Brady because of just historic. The guy has done wonders for the sport, and I'd say probably one of the best, if not the best, quarterback.
Otherwise, so we're obviously digging into the other category. I'm both sticking with golf past Mike Weir. I mean, obviously he's still golfing on the Champions Tour.
Do you want me to put a bleep in this next one just so your wife doesn't hear?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. She has no idea who she is.
Good thing there's not internet.
But anyway, watching Mike Weir win the 03 Masters was pretty sick. I remember
that was
watching
awesome.
that all day long. I was like 11 at the time, and it was pretty sweet. Present day, Brooke Henderson. I mean, A, winning a couple girls' majors. B,
Girls, women's.
Yeah. Yeah, cancel me now.
No.
But, and, she's, decent. Producer-wise.
Producer, don't blame this on Chris. You got producer.
That's fine. He's a big UFC guy. So obviously, Georges St. Pierre, again, transcended UFC pretty much in Canada. And present time, Sean O'Malley. Loves his Irish, too.
Interesting.
Chris.
So I didn't do past or present for my others. I just picked two people that I like.
Pick two randoms.
And they're both technically past. So anyways, Georges St. Pierre also, it was awesome when he was at the height of his powers. And then technically, I guess this isn't past because he's still playing, but Tiger Woods. There was nothing like Tiger dominating a major.
You should just say Charlie. Just pick up the next generation.
Hey, did you see them at the father-son tournament?
I know.
Yeah, it was sweet.
He's
Year
good.
after year, not bad at all. Other. So this is funny because in your preamble before we got into this, you mentioned darts. And so my other is going to be Michael van Gerwen, the Dutchman.
Lots of 180s.
Yeah, I mean, he had a nice 6-dart set the other day, which was great, in the championship. So
I love, sorry, sidebar a little bit, but I love how darts, like, there's such a big crowd and it's such a small board. Like, they can't see anything that's happening, but they're going crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a big drunk fest.
Yeah.
And Chris, I know that your wife still listens to the podcast, so I'll do this one for her. Footnote. And then go on. That's from you.
Yeah.
So Van Gerwen is my boy, and then present is tough. I'm gonna go with Rachel Holman. I'm gonna go with the curling route. I think she's just often misunderstood. Because she doesn't show a lot of personality when she's on the ice.
No, she does. It's just she's rude.
She's got resting B face.
Yes.
And, but
sometimes you need that in curling. Okay?
I think she's just hyper competitive, and I respect that because you're out there, you got a job to do, right? So, and I mean, again, she's had a couple kids, and she's been able to be at the top of her sport, and sometimes that is very difficult to do.
Except at the Olympics.
Cancel Chris too. Tyler, it's on you.
All right, let's wrap this up. We'll be right back with our goodbyes. By the sounds of it, it's just going to be me and producer Dwyane. All right. See, I did that twice.
Right on.
There you go. That's going to be it for today's episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as the Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite athlete, past or present.
There you go. So from all of us and producer Dwyane, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris. And together, we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.